I'm back. Yes, quicker than ever. And why? Because of you guys at home who watched the last video, the truthers, the malware problem. And with that video, I hit the biggest nail over the head ever. Through using my spell etymology, I broke down the word simulation to show you that it means basically the connection, the wire. And oh my God, if it wasn't for you guys, it even showed me I hit the nail on without even realizing it. So if you're wondering what's going on because you've not watched that video, shame on you. Go and watch it. But here's a brief catch up on it where I mentioned this wire. So when you hear people saying that we're living in a shithole, this realm is evil, we're living in hell, you now can say the computer simulation could be that. We're living in a fake copy shithole of a place. Pardon all my French, but I'm just reading out what I found. And we are the malware in that, we are the programs in that, we are the software in that. And the system, the computer, the AI sees us as opposition, trying to woke people up. And when we break the connection by giving them the choice, hey, red pill or blue pill, you can stay in or you can come out and see the place for what it is. And when we picture Neo in it, basically breaking out, pulling the plug, the hard wire, the wire, and waking up, you'll know why I'm getting excited now, because I broke down the word simulation. Now, I broke it down in 3, S-I-M-U, simu, lat, and ion or ion is another form of spelling. So simu means telephone, but also, and this is what got me, it means wire. I've not long been talking about these vessels, is the electric being put through us to keep us in, keep us grounded to the computer, to the simulation. Just an alternate form of that. Now I'm talking about the simulation straight away being a wire. So lat obviously could be Latin, latium, all the Janus connection to that. But I'm using the word lat as meaning to carry. And ION means go. So this is talking about go carry the wire. It's like that predicament of carrying the stone. That fable of folklore. And it's got me intrigued that because we're talking about us being in a simulation, hardwired. And remember, like Neo, he got unplugged and he sees the realm for what it is. I've just said simulation means a wire, and we have carried that wire around us. I'm mind blown. Right guys, so you just saw that clip that I've not long just made, and I broke down the word simulation to mean telephone and wire. Well, the simu, the first part. So I want to ask you at home now, or wherever you are, tell me how they entered the Matrix in the film. Come on. Oh yes, a telephone.
Sit back and enjoy your We're in.
So, isn't that a wow? They entered the Matrix through the telephone, through the wire, this connection that I'm talking about. But also, don't forget, how did they get out the Matrix? Oh yes, the wire, the connection.
You first, Morpheus.
So before I get into this, we're supposed to live in a copy. We're supposed to live in a simulation. Right, remember I showed you that in the etymology from what they state this simulation is. So if we're in a copy or a mirrored verse or whatever you want to call it, it starts to make sense. So they enter and exit the matrix with this wire, this telephone. And that's what my etymology, my spell etymology showed. We all saw that, you just saw the clips. Now in the clip I showed you about them entering the matrix, I saw on the phone, it was ringing. I thought, you know what, that symbol, I recognise it. Now this is a while ago, this film. But again, a mirrored or a copy universe. Have a look at the crest, the logo. Is that not X or Twitter? They've just swapped it around like we're in a copy, we're in a reverse. That blew my mind. It really did, because you can quite see it on the screen. So now you're seeing when Neo, he takes a pill. You know, Morpheus gives him a choice, red, blue pill. So he takes a pill, they walk into the next room and they start talking about, well, that will break your trace, or it's used as a trace so we can find you in the matrix and pull you out. He starts the reality around him changing. He sees the mirror bending, he touches it, and then that silver substance then goes all over him. Emphasize the mirror and the silver, because this is the comment that inspired me. This is just the first one. I'll show you the other comment later that inspired me to make this video, because I was like, wow, I hit the nail on the head. So it was by Yo-Yo Bird 8427. Now they said, and here's the comment, you can see it on the screen. They went, the Bible talks about the silver cord. I always thought that had to do with like bleach and had the concepts of seeing people's spirit ribbon. So again, now people are talking about this connection, this wire as being a silver cord in the Bible, and other people are talking about it being the silver spirit ribbon when you astral project. Some of this stuff we'll get into. So let me look it up, and basically they give us a Bible verse. Now they read it out, but I'll get it in a minute for you guys. And it goes, or ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. Now this comment inspired me, because if you just you've watched, I'm talking about the connection to the AI, the simulation as being a wire, a telephone. Now, with the Matrix talk of getting in and out by using this line, this telephone, this wire, this connection, the Bible for even longer has been talking about a silver cord that connects to your spirit. How can you not be wowed? And like, whoa, you hit the nail on the head without even realizing about this other stuff. And now you put it together. Has anyone else done this connection? I don't think so. And I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of the people in the chat that contribute and help me on my path. Help me with these wows. And that's what it is. It's a wow. So let's carry on. So as you can see on the screen, the silver cord is a concept found in various spiritual and metaphysical traditions, representing a spiritual connection or a life-giving thread that binds a person's physical body to their higher self or soul. They say it is not literal physical objects, but a metaphor for the soul's link to the body, and it is said to be severed at death, allowing the spirit to depart. Bit like the Matrix, took the pill, severed the connection, and came about and reborn into the realm, basically, isn't it? It's crazy. It is crazy, allowing the spirit to depart. The term also appears in the Christian Bible, which symbolises the delicate nature of life and the inevitable transition to death. So, the silver cord is your connection to the spiritual self. When you astral project, that is what keeps you, and you're able then to go back to the body. But what if, like I'm talking about in regard to this realm being a simulation, a computer, and that is your connection to the AI, to the system. And this is just basically talking about the same thing. I'm mind blown, guys. Surely you can see what I'm seeing now and what I'm putting together for you guys. It's mind blowing. So I made the first video, didn't realise about the silver cord in the Bible and other faiths and cultures, talking about how that's connected to your vessel when you basically astral project. It's wow. So remember the Bible verse that Yo-Yo Bird was talking about, and here it is, you can see it on the screen. So Remember your Creator before the silver cord is loosed, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the well. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it. So you can just see your mind blown with that verse, talking about this silver cord. I'm talking about the wire, the telephone, the connection to the system. They're talking about the same thing. But when we look at the word golden bowl and picture, they're both vessels. They're both vessels. And I've not long done videos on the vessels carrying the holy water. Crazy, isn't it? But when you start thinking of golden bowl, these are things that started to come into mind. And I want to show it now, because the noun bowl comes from Middle English bolly and Old English bolla, meaning bowl, cup, pot, which in turn derives from Proto-Germanic bull, a round vessel, and ultimately the Proto-Indo-European, the pi root, meaning behel. Don't forget that word, behel. To blow, to swell, referring to the roundness or a rounded swollen object. This original sense of roundness is shared with related words for ball. So I've got me thinking, golden ball. Golden sphere. What do we have on top of St. Peter's Basilica? And a cross on top, which you'll see what that is related to soon. So you have the golden ball. You have the golden sphere in the Vatican courtyard. I'm just blown away. So I wanted to look a bit more into this. And as you know, the behel part of that, the European root behel, means to shine, to flash, to burn, shining white and various bright colours. Derivatives include blue, bleach, blind, blonde, blanket, black, fragrant and flame. Remember from the original comment by Yo-Yo Bird, she talks about the bleach, so she was right. This is from an old video, by the way, that I did. And if you go carry on, just look at some of the derivatives. A beluga from Russian behel, white. Beltane from Scottish Gaelic Bealtaine. From Old Irish Beltane, fire of bell. 10, fire. From Bel, name of a pagan Irish deity akin to the Gaulish divine name Balanos, from Celtic Bel. You've also got the god Bel, which is another name for Marduk. Wow. So you can see how deep this goes. So you're just showing how the verse mentioned a golden bowl. You've seen what a golden bowl is, ball or behel. And that connections, I'm just mind blown. So obviously that verse then talks about, oh, the wheel is broken at the well, then the dust will return to the earth and the spirit will return to God. So it's talking about that spirit connection, and that silver cord is that. And we're talking about this wire, this telephone that the etymology of simulation created. But look at the word silver. Now look at silver and its number, its atomic number, it's 47. Oh wait, Paul, that's another 11. And here's just some quick silver facts that I want to just put on the screen. Silver is the most electrically conductive element. I've been talking about the electric, haven't I? Is that what's tying us and binding us into these vessels? Silver is the most reflective element. Like the Neo did. Remember, I just talked about the mirror effect, the silver going around him. And the lunar crescent is a common alchemy symbol for silver. And the words for silver and money are the same in 14 languages. Mind blown. So from that comment by Yo-Yo Bird became this video. So I want to thank her, a lot for inspiring me to this video. So obviously, when I'm talking about silver, and I've just talked about the gold spheres and that at the Vatican, you automatically think of the Vatican seal, the Vatican's crest, the silver and gold keys. The Vatican doesn't possess little keys to heaven, they say, but rather the keys of heaven is a symbolic representation of the authority Christ granted to St. Peter, Pater, Father, Janus, which continues to be held by the Pope and symbolises papal authority to bind and loose. Remember? Mind blown. And that goes to that verse, Matthew 16. Jesus tells Peter, I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth. So the silver key represents the earthly realm. What is the colour of this cord but silver? I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Mind blown. Just mind blown. And remember, who is the God of doorways and portals and transitions? Yes, Janus, and that will tie in to other things. So look at the Holy See, the Vatican's crest, yellow and white. Well, the etymology for behel is to shine, flash, burn, also shining white. Oh yes, we have white on it. And forming words for bright colours. The same pi root, the pi root yielded Latin flavus, meaning yellow. So they have both the colours of behel, or bell, or lord, or master in the crest, in the logo, in the flag. Mind blown. Now, a long time ago, a few years, time flies, I made a video without knowing this in some way. I made a video called I've Got the Key, I've Got the Secret, basically. And here's a quick clip on that showing you talk about these keys, about the silver and gold, and how we have in us the keys, because the clavicle or clavus is Latin for key, and that's your shoulders. So I want to show you that. I'm going to insert it now before I carry on. So here's the papal keys, or the Holy See keys, or the crest. Just look at them, gold and silver, representing the heavenly and the earthly or the worldly. And look, they are bound with a red cord. Could that be symbolic? Why are they binding them? Who are they binding them to? That is a question you've got to ask. So gold and silver stuck in my head. And I thought, you know what? The gold and silver in the periodic table, you can see the image above. What would that both be in gematria? And I was shocked. AUAG 209 equals 11. This 11 that keeps popping up everywhere. And that is what made me investigate the realm of L11. But just look at the two keys together. What does it look like? What number do these two keys look like? And if you're honest, you will say 2 1s. Which is funny because that is the keys to L11. This realm is L11. Remember, I've not long just done a video on hell and heaven. In gematria, that's spelled 11. So this 11 is showing you it's here. It's the doorway. Now look at 2 1s together, or 11, doorway, the post. Let's just mix them. And what happens when you put them together in a certain order? Oh wow, it looks like a certain flag. It looks like also a cross, a crucifix. It's always been there, guys, and it's always been in our face or your mind. So this talk of being bound and having the keys to hell and heaven hidden inside us, it's hidden in plain sight. Now, it's hidden in the clavicle, the collarbone. That's the other name for it, the collarbone. Must be a coincidence that the clavicle is one of the first bones to form in the fetus and the last to stop growing when we are born. The clavicle, the key, starts to ossify, which means it's starting to turn, to bone. And here's the wow, it's 5 to 6 weeks it does that. So 5 or 6 is an 11. You telling me the keys to hell and heaven, which is 11, are formed at 5 to 6 weeks, which is an 11, is a coincidence? I think not, guys. That just absolutely blow my mind. So the average age when the collarbone stops growing is 21. What do you get when you're 21? You get a key. That's just a coincidence. It's just all a coincidence, Paul. Now another question for you. Right, you ready? What key is the master and opens up all doors? There is a name for it. And I know some of you are screaming in the chat now and writing it in and commenting at home when you're watching it back later. And here we go. So you got it. You got it, guys. It's called the skeleton key. Wait, isn't the key or the keys I'm talking about are in the skeleton? Why, yes. That's just another coincidence. So the key, the clavicle, is also known as the collarbone, right? And its other name, as another name, could be the shoulders, right? So people call it the shoulders, the collarbone, and the clavicle. Have a look at this verse and tell me it's not wow. I will place on his shoulder the key to the house of David. What he opens, no one can shut. And what he shuts, no one can open. Now, you can all depends on what you think is the key to the house of David. But isn't it a coincidence that I'm showing you that the keys to hell, heaven, 11, hell and heaven are on your shoulder because they are the clavicle, they are the keys. And there's a verse talking about I will place on his shoulder the key. Now, I've just blown away, guys, and you know when you start looking at something, sometimes you see things. Now, is this one of them? I don't know, but it just blew me away, the reference to the key on the shoulder. So what you're going to see now, I had to film several times. And that's because I got so excited. And, you know, when I get excited, I just get too giddy and I go even quicker and quicker and quicker. So I have to slow down. As you can see on the screen, I've just got an image off the web of a router. And the reason, because the router, it has your IP address on the bottom. Now, for years and years, I've been talking about us having a unique numerical number, an IP address that is connected us to the system, connected us to the realm, the simulation. Now, I always talked about how our name at the birthing process is like that IP address. That's why they need that name to connect us to the vessel, to this realm. Now, you saw all the stuff that I've talked about, the wire, the keys, the Vatican and all that. And the reason I get excited is because Janus is the archaic guardian of the gateways and doorways, and they have the keys, remember? Was the forebearer of Saint Peter, Pater, Father, the first key bearer of the Roman Church. This touches on an important aspect of Animus of Vitibro's euhemeristic historiography, namely the identity of Janus Noah as the first Pontifex Maximus, the first head priest, head king, so on. A claim that almost certainly influenced Giles' description of the Papal Cathedral as the throne of Janus. So you can see why I talk about Janus in connection to Vatican. He is the first. And we're talking about an IP address connecting us, the thread, the silver cord. You know, you even got the thread of fate in Viking myth and folklore. So you can see why I'm excited and why I'm talking about this in this video, because it connects to a comment from a firmament bubble boy asks to be 7060. Now he's watched my videos and he was talking, he knows I've talked about the IP address, he knows I've talked about Janus a lot, and he's comment, here we go. So was thinking, Paul, IP address, the IP stands for Janus Pater, Janus father. Not sure if that was ever considered in one of your videos, but it's a good little tidbit. So for 7 to 10 years or more, I've been talking about Janus. I've been talking about this vessels being connected to the system, and that's why they give us the birthing name. So I've been talking about all this, what he said, but I've never put it together. Remember, the code on the router is your IP address. Janus's initials, Janus Pater, IP. Wow, I've talked about this for so long and didn't put the two together, and it was hidden in plain sight. And Firmament Bubble Boy has to be, I've just blown it away by giving it me there in a comment. So again, the second comment that inspired me to make this video has blown me away, and I can't thank the pair of them enough. So just for you that don't know and have just joined, Janus Pater or Janus Pater translates to Father Janus, referring to the ancient god of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorway, passageway, endings. And he's depicted having two faces, symbolising his ability to look to both the past and the future. The keys, he has the keys in his hand, and that's why he is the archaic guardian. He's the first. He's the God of the gateways and doors, which we need the doors to go through, this connection to go through. Now, IP address, Janus Parta, an IP address, short for Internet Protocol Address, is a unique numerical label assigned to a device connected to a computer network that uses the Internet Protocol for communication. It's like a digital address that allows the device to identify each other and send information across a network. Wow. So you can see why I'm excited, because I've been talking about IP addresses and Janus and Janus Parta, his name, for years. I didn't put the two together. So I'm like, when he messaged on my last video, I'm like, damn son, that's a mighty fine comment. And with the other one, inspired me to make this video. I've known about these and talked about these for years, and the connection now is just blew everything out the water. If this was my final ever video, I'm happy. I can go out in a blaze of glory. So, to finish on this, we're talking about the thread, the cord, aren't we? The wire, the telephone. The term IP has several different origins, as it can be a surname derived from a Chinese character meaning leaf, an abbreviation for Internet Protocol in computing, referring to a unique network address, the origin of intellectual property, an early term for rights to creations, and here's the kicker, a Turkish word for thread. Say what? Slam dunk. Even etymology for IP is a thread, is a wire, is that connection that I'm talking about in this video. Just wow. Right guys, so I'm going to make my thoughts short because I want to let the video and the previous video speak for itself. I don't want me ruin it. But I had to come on and say a big thank you to Permanent Bubble Boy Has to Be and Yo-Yo Bird. Without the comments, I wouldn't have made this video. I wouldn't have progressed what I was talking about in the last video. And I believe I've slam dunked it. I've proven my theories, my suggestions over the years that I've been talking about the keys, Janus, the simulation in one little short video. Wow. So if you're new to the channel, the video that I've just made, I titled it basically Truth is the Malware Problem to the System. And in that I was just talking about how we treated like malware by the system AI, because obviously we can awaken people by our voices, which is another chord, vocal chord, and our thoughts and suggestions. So in that video I basically broken down the word computer and broken down the word simulation, and in that the first breakdown, simulation, meant telephone and wire. So I'm then talking about, is that our connection to the system, this wire, this cord, this thread. And making this video that you're just watching today, I'm talking about matrix in that and in this, and how did he enter and exit the matrix, but via a telephone, the wire. And I'm just like, damn Paul, why did you not remember that from the first one? Because I needed the inspiration from Yo-Yo Bird. And now I'm just like, wow, they've shown you. It's supposed to be a documentary, isn't it? The Matrix. They're showing you how you get in and out of the Matrix is via that wire, the connection back of the head. Remember, you just feel the back of your head. You'll have a little bony bit. It's like where the connection's made. And that's how you get in and out of the Matrix. Wow, the silver cord. The silver wire. And Yo-Yo's basically comments was about a Bible reference to the silver cord, your connection to your spirit. And that just blew me away. I'm like, I can't believe it. I've just been talking about this wire, this telephone, and I've talked about us having an IP address connecting to these vessels to the system for so long, and I didn't know about this silver cord, this connection to your spirit, which to me is basically talking what I am, but in another term. And then you have people who astral project, and obviously people in that, the line of thinking. The silver cord is your connection to your vessel, so you can get back when you astral project. I'm talking about being connected to this simulation via this wire. And I've just proved it. See, even in the Bible, and it's in obviously in that talk about astral projection, and so on in many, many cultures. My mind's blown. It really is. I'm like, I can't get any more excited. And I have to keep refilming because I get carried away, and my enthusiasm is just at another level. And that's thanks to Firmament Bubble Boy Has to Be and Yo-Yo Bird. And then I've always talked about these connections, these vessels having an IP address. Obviously, Firmament Bubble Boy made the comment because he's obviously watched my videos talking about, hey Paul, have you ever thought of the IP address being Janus Peter? Things I've talked about for several years. But I didn't put the two and two together. And I'm like, no, how did you not? So thank you from Bubble Boy Has to Be, because you give me the inspiration, just like Yo-Yo Bird. And wow, IP address, Janus father, Janus Peter. Remember, he's at creation, he is concevious. So you can see that connection, and he is where you get the name janitor from. Janny, gate, door, Tor is another word in German for door, as well as rock and mirrors, so things that we've talked about over the years. It's where you get named janitor. So he is the key holder. He is the first Pope, King of Latium. That's why he has the keys. Saint Peter, Saint Peter, the Father. The Peters that I've talked about in that old video. How did I not see this, basically? And I've done videos on hell and heaven, and the key to the secrets, where I've talked about these things without putting two and two together. So if it wasn't for those comments, I'm getting emotional. Just thank you. You've made the video even better. I've made a quicker video now because I got inspired, and I believe it's a slam dunk. There's no one out there making these connections about the simulation, Janus, the doorways, the gateways, and the keys. Even have the keys, silver key, the earthly key. The Vatican has it on the crest logo, the Holy See. You can't make this shit up. And you can't, can you? It's like slam dunk connection. And that's thank you for you guys who may not made those connections anyway, but didn't comment. But to the two, it did. Thank you. And for everyone who shows me love and support by liking, sharing and subscribing, I couldn't do it without you. And if you want to help the channel out more, you can do it by hitting the barcode on the screen, or the QR code, or the link in the description, which is buy me a coffee. It just helps us all keep going. So guys, there you go. Part 2 to the truth is a malware problem is the wire, the telephone. I mean, you even had the telephone in the Matrix having X on, X, the 11, and also X Twitter. Before it was even before it was even made a thing. Just wow. So without connections, without you guys helping me, I wouldn't make videos like this. And I have to go now before I just get too excited. So much love. Remember guys, stay safe and don't let the bar stools grind us down. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I have. I think it's my best. Bye guys. And thank you again. Bye.